Coming to you direct from deep underneath your favorite Japanese wrestling arena, it's time for your high-speedy, strongly styled, fighting spirited, secret handshaking, wink wink nudge nudge, lethal dose of female professional wrestling, primarily in the land of shoguns and rising suns. It's time for you to remove your blindfold, accept a complimentary fruity drink that's totally not sus at all, and learn from our inside terminology, because you, our friends, have nearly willfully accepted the invite and have joined our cult of Joshi. Now allow me to introduce you to your fighting spirited guides, Raja and John.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Cult of Joshi. I'm your host, Raja, and I'm joined by my co-host, John.
Hello.
And we have returned from the land of sunshine and burning heat.
Somewhat safe. So I got a little idea.
What?
Next time we decide to go off into a tropical locale, why don't we not go in the middle of summer?
Right smack in the hottest time of the year.
Right when the devil dick is pissing right on your face the whole time.
Holy moly. The heat, dude, so much. It was so much.
It was so melty. It was so much. You're right.
Like, you do 18 holes of a putt-putt golf course and you're drenched in sweat like you just walked through a rain shower.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was wonderful and terrible at the same time. We went to a zoo, and just in this location, and it was also so fucking hot that the animals didn't come out.
Yeah, no, they were all hiding in the shade. They were like, screw you guys.
They were like,
what are you doing out in the sun?
They were like looking at us like, what the hell are you doing?
These things have no survival instincts.
We're there at noon because we were like, let's go see the monkeys. Let's go see the,
let's find an alligator.
Let's find an alligator and all this. And they're literally all looking at us like, dude, seriously, why are you here? Is there something wrong with it? I'm not going to perform for you.
It was nice and quiet though, at least.
It was.
Because not everyone is stupid enough to walk around a zoo in that kind of weather.
That's true. And we finally figured out about 5 days in that maybe let's go to the beach at night or
let's
later.
go like 7 p.m.
Later in the afternoon.
It's still light but it's not death on the beach.
but we did have a good time as far as we were able to stream from our phone.
Yeah. We were able to stream to the TV, the one TV.
Yes.
There, and so we were able to watch some Joshi while on vacation.
Yeah,
but we also had some catching up to do because as we were driving back, there was like a million shows happen.
There was, because it was quite the drive. We had a 12-hour drive,
which took much longer.
one way. Because we're insane. We like to drive because we enjoy like audiobooks and things like that. In fact,
I just crochet in the car the whole time.
Once again, Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh man.
We
got through like a whole book.
if you have never listened to an audiobook, this should be your first one. If you can also just buy them and read them, but
the audiobook's so good though because of the experience.
It's a series. It started like 2020, but they already have seven books,
I believe.
And it's Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yes, if you like anything RPG related, you will love it. And the audiobooks are a must because the sound booth theater guy that does them, that does all the voices, is so good. It just immerses you completely in the world.
This is not a paid advertisement.
No, it's
although
not.
It should be.
Love it.
It should be because we would be huge marks for this.
I mean, considering we just started the series a few months ago and we're already on book 5.
Yeah.
Like a healthy amount of the way through book 5
It's the damnedest, most wonderful thing in the world. Listen.
It's so good.
I mean, this dude is having to fight for his life with his cat that is now a talking cat. And
what more can you ask for?
What more?
It's fantasy themed.
And plus, the writer is a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, there's so many wrestling nods here and there.
A lot of little nougats that's in there.
I'm surprised every time I hear one because you don't normally just hear wrestling things in popular culture.
No, and there's a lot of them.
There are.
There's a lot. Everything from Macho Man to there was something with King Kong Bundy's real name.
Yeah, his shoot name was in there.
Yeah, you had to look it up, right?
Yeah, because somebody got like the belt of his name, and I was like, I wonder if that's a real wrestler. So
I was like the one that was like, she said, "Have you ever heard of?" Do you know who that is? She was talking to me like I knew who it was because normally I would. And I worked the show with Bundy. And
well, it's not common knowledge, I'm sure.
Yeah. Do you know when I worked the one show with Bundy?
When?
July 4th.
Oh.
We're almost to the... We're
coming up on that right now.
July 4th, the year 2000. It was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so it was on the base.
It's just right around the corner.
Yeah. It was on the base. It was... I don't know, man, tens of thousands of people. Like, man, it was a crazy. Big deal. I worked for an absolute cocksucker. That his name, and I don't care to say it, Great Yugo, piece of shit.
Horrible person.
Promoter that had the heaviest damn ring.
Oh.
Of all rings of all.
Is that the ring that you've told me so much about?
Well, no. The ring I trained in was like an old boxing ring. Mm-hmm. There was literal railroad ties.
Oh, no.
That somehow consisted of railroad ties and like the old pictures in New York City with the guys up on the skyscrapers. I think they got that skyscraper metal and
put a ring
and put it in there and put some elevator cables and mixed with one bull rope and man. You got like mismatched scars on your back,
right?
But no, the Great Yugo's ring was it was god awful heavy. Like it was ridiculous heavy.
And like somehow he just made it heavier to be a dick.
No, I don't know how he did it. I was jacked at the time, and it was still heavy for me. I was just like, and the guy I was with, he was very not jacked. And I remember we were trying to lift together, and it was bad. He was just crying the whole time. But the guy's probably a super nice guy. If you're a member of Yugo's family, I apologize, but
I hope that a random member of the Great Yugo's family is listening to our Joshi podcast. That would be a crazy turn of events.
So if you are, I'm sure he just liked to use young boys and not pay them, after they drove halfway across the country to do your show.
Not even a hot dog?
Listen, my payoff for this was sitting there in front of Naked Bundy. Listen to Bundy, like, because this okay. So the guard, there was like on duty, people from the base that drove us in the vans to the ring and back.
Oh, okay.
So we were in the locker room facility, and I'm sitting there. It's Bundy is in there. Bundy, I just hear the stupid Jim Cornette thing. But Bundy's in there, and obviously he's the main event because for us, like. We're sitting in a room with King Kong Bundy.
Right.
It's a lot to deal with. All right. And I'm still very young in the business. So most of the guys didn't bother me like that. But Bundy,
sometimes they just have that about him.
I mean, I played with his toy. He was WrestleMania 2's main event with Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's Bundy, for love of God.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there there was a bunch of stars there, but I'm sitting there beside this guy named Tony Falk. And Tony Falk had been Boy Tony at one point in his career in Memphis and USWA. He had been a few different things as Tony Falk, but he was a Memphis guy.
Right.
And he came on later, like I think maybe 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, that time period, really late 87, 88, 89. And he got pretty decently known in Texas area. But for me, any of those guys... That's the real main event for me.
Right.
Nightmares, any of these guys from Memphis and from Texas.
Right, your childhood.
Yeah, I mean, just those independents, right? And I was sitting there beside this Tony guy, and I know he's just a regular looking dude.
Right. Okay.
And at the time, again, I lived in the gym. So from the time I was like in 5th grade. So I look way more like a wrestler than Tony Falk. Right? so I'm sitting there like putting my stuff, and Bundy is sitting over there in the corner. And the lady who drove us to the locker room, she was a rather attractive lady, but not one time in my head, it's just who I am, as you know, did I think anything about that.
Right.
It was the situation. There's situations, right?
Right. She's doing her job.
She's doing her job. I'm thinking this is the guard that is driving us.
Yeah.
The soldier that is driving us.
I'm not going to hit on her.
No, I'm not thinking about stuff like that. I'm thinking about the wrestling, the show, and hey, this is a huge July 4th event. And this is cool, you know? This is what I grew up for. And, I was sitting in there and I was like, oh shit. I walked in, there's Bundy. I'm like, oh God. And I'm sitting there, I'm just start dressing beside Tony Falk. And I'm just like trying not to piss anybody off or say anything wrong. And I shook everybody's hand too. You know, I went around and I did the thing.
Right. Very polite.
I shook everybody's hand. I was like, John Hawkins. Go through the whole thing. Right. And so I'm sitting there and Bundy looks up. At this point, Bundy is completely 100% nude. It was a god-awful sight. I mean, of all god-awful sights, it was a god-awful sight.
Right.
It wasn't, it's not like I saw anything, really, because it's Bundy.
Yeah.
I saw a stomach, right? Mm-hmm. And I can't help my pecker checker thing. It's just like a natural, like,
it's like an innate thing.
It's like it's impossible. It is impossible. The harder I try, it's just like, oh hell. Oh well, there it is. Okay, there it is. And it's like it's always something very abnormal with all my heroes.
Yeah, usually
it's like got a top hat and a cane and a monocle. You know, it's like hello. You know, and but Bundy's sitting there and Bundy's like, boy, that girl. It's just something. I hope she takes me back over there. I know what I'd like to do to her and all this stuff. I'm like, holy shit. Oh, this is terrible. You got to stop talking. I'm thinking in my head, like, this is, I can't hear this.
Right.
I can't hear this. And I look over and you know, I was trying to finally get my bearings about myself. And Tony Falk was asking me about, you know, hey, man, where you work, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And I was like, and he once again, he's like, you know, I'm Tony Falk. I thought, dude, I know who you are. I was like, and he's like, his eyes got real big, and I'm like, I'm a huge fan, man. I was like, I loved it, and I started naming stuff, and I thought he was gonna cry. I really
probably don't do that to him very often.
I thought he was gonna like get all emotional on me and stuff.
Right.
But with all that said, that was the little anniversary talk. With all that said, we survived.
We did, even though we had to drive back through the damnedest traffic because it's coming up on a holiday and people don't know how to act.
Yeah, and while we were gone, there was a massive tree blowing our backyard. And
knock all the power out.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of good stuff.
Glad we weren't here for that.
Yeah. Glad we missed that. Appreciate it, Storms. So, you know, if you want to be that one person that comments like, it took you so long to get to the Josh, fuck off.
It's been an eventful last week and a half, okay?
You know we love you.
Yes.
We love you. We're going to get to all the Joshi.
Yes, that's what the timestamps are for, if you don't want to listen to us ramble.
Hey, let me tell you guys something really cool. So, I don't vanity search much.
Uh-huh.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
I have no reason to vanity search.
Oh, well. I don't vanity search much, but sometimes I like check some things from my life.
Yes.
And so I vanity searched us. Kinda. I put into ChatGPT, what are the best Joshi podcasts?
Oh, you specifically said what are the best podcasts to listen to for Stardom fans.
Oh.
You specified Stardom.
Okay.
Because that's how the results came out.
So it gave me a comprehensive list.
Yes.
The first one it came up with was Stardom Cast.
Yes.
And then it was
the 5-star Joshi show, maybe?
Maybe.
It was one of those catch-all Joshi shows.
But what was number 3?
Cult of Joshi.
Cult of Joshi.
Yeah.
And it even had at the bottom like an honorable mention for Wrestling Is Her, which is still this same show.
Yeah, it's like, this is still Wrestling Is Her. It's just changed brands.
It was like they started out more general and geared towards Stardom as it went along. I'm like, yes, that's really weird that it knows that.
Yeah. It is. Like, it understands too much.
I was pretty excited, except for the fact we weren't number 1.
We're number 1 in the hearts of some people, I'm sure.
So, for people that matter, we absolutely are.
For the best kind of people.
And if you're one of those people that matter, you're going to have to help us out with this campaign, all right? We're about ready to get some business going. We're about ready to get some business. We're ready to get some... Because, listen, you know what those other shows don't have? Say something, Roger.
What? I'm not gonna shit on the other shows.
No, I don't want you to shit on anything. No, I wanted you to talk as a female.
Oh, I see. They don't have me.
They don't have a girl.
Yes, that's true. There's
a woman.
There's very few.
A lady.
Female wrestling. Yeah, I mean there are female wrestling content creators out there, but they're usually American focused.
And they don't cover Joshi.
Yeah.
They don't cover the female only.
There's a lot of, I've noticed, that cover AEW, because I think that's very geared towards the female gaze.
Well, man.
But Joshi-wise, it's harder to find a girl here and there talking about it.
It is. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
I'm sorry. You kind of lead me in better than that.
Well, it's I'll work on my Iggy's.
Yes, so, I feel very blessed to be able to talk about Joshi as a woman.
It's cool.
I think it gives me my own unique perspective on things.
Absolutely. I think it's a great perspective to have, and we give a little validity to it with somebody that has damaged their soul with bumps.
Yes, like between the two of us, we're a Joshi wrestler.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We have ascended. But listen, so here's the business, if you will. Go tell an enemy, tell a friend, tell a raccoon. Anybody who has access to be able to leave us a review, anybody who has access to just listen, man. Listen, I'm not even after your likes. It'd be nice. Yes, the likes, the comments, the subscribes, the follows on social media. It would be wonderful. Shut your mouth.
But listening is good enough.
Listening is wonderful, but listen to this. Just this week, do a little extra.
Just tell one person.
Yeah, that's all we're asking. One person, explain to them the joy of Cult of Joshi.
Yeah.
Tell them about our secret
that's
cult.
Your homework
because if you're a fan of Joshi, if you're really a true fan of Joshi, you're in a cult. I'm going to let you know.
It is very cult-like.
We are the few. We are the proud. Okay? And so it's up to you to really help us out and help keep us around.
Yeah.
If you want to keep, hearing us every week and give us a reason to be here.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason to just talk to an empty room, right?
No. The doctor...
Even though we probably would.
The doctor encouraged me to stop that. So... Anyway,
we very much appreciate all of your support. Though.
That's enough of that. I will say this. We have been recording Patreon stuff. I'm not trying to push the Patreon right now or push the Patreon. It sounds like a character, doesn't it? Push the Patreon.
Yes, it's slow going.
But
we're getting there.
Yeah, we've been recording stuff for it, and we're recording like a really cornucopia of things. Just, until something, we keep throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. Yeah. But later tonight, we're doing a fun one. We're going to be recording Great American Bash. It just went up on the WWE Network YouTube thing, a very clean copy of, the Great American Bash 85, which was just a big Charlotte Stadium show. Mm-hmm. And so really a lot of fun stuff there. We're going to do the watch along with that. And if you're into that stuff or you want to be into that stuff, really cool. Yeah. We want to keep it as Joshi and stuff as possible with stuff. But we want to put those fun things in every now and then too.
But we like to learn.
I promise you this.
Especially.
If you join the Patreon and you want to hear something unhinged and funny, I'm not going to be very straight-laced on the watch-alongs.
No, we have an interesting way of watching wrestling.
Yeah, so
we're not as clean cut as we appear on this show.
So we will start with watching wrestling, and it'll turn into some fanfic before we're done. Between how Ron Bass is secretly the mentor, love god of Sam Houston.
Right. Yeah, something like that'll always happen because we can't help ourselves.
We can't help ourselves. But speaking of can't help yourself, I think it's time to talk about some amazing stuff, and I will turn it over to you because it's your show.
It is my show. I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. But we do need to head to Japan because we have so much to talk about this week because everyone was just having shows left and right. And before we get into all of the Stardom goodness that we saw over the past week, we need to talk about a little Marigold because they had a pretty interesting show on the 28th of June where we found out the last two competitors for the Dream Star Grand Prix. But before we got to that main event gauntlet situation, we got to also see a three-way match where Sari Yamaoka pulled out a win over Megaton and Koki Amurai, which congratulations to Sari, because that's a big win with those two mega powers in there.
She did amazing in that match.
She did. She's such a star.
She is, and she looks more and more and more and more and more like that star.
She does, and when these three came out, I was like, I think Sari should win this match, but I don't think she's going to. And then she ended up winning.
Yeah, you booked it, pal.
Then Chan Yoda, Miku Ano, and Mai Sakurai took on Kazuna Tanaka, Chika Goto, and Utami Hayashishita. And this match had the two main champions of Marigold in it, but they were not near the main event scene tonight because that was all reserved for the rookies and the Dream Star Grand Prix. And Chan Yoda, Miku Ano, and Mai Sakurai actually pulled out the win in this match, Miku pinning Kazuna Tanaka.
Pretty crazy.
After a pretty vicious head kick.
But we knew she was pin eater when she was coming out.
Yeah, I mean, in this lineup,
yeah,
it kind of, you kind of feel it coming.
she's pin eater.
Following that, we saw Chiaki, Nagisa Nozaki, and Misa Matsui versus Victoria Yuzuki, Mirai, and Mayu Iwatani. And this match was interesting for the very fact that Mayu Iwatani was a week removed from finding out that she had broken ribs. Broken ribs! And she's back in the ring a week later, holding on to her ribs half the match, with Misa Matsui going after them, no doubt. I mean, it was great. Like, we came into the show expecting no Mayu Iwatani, and then there she is. She just coming out.
So, there's schools of thought, right?
Right.
So many schools.
Yeah.
There's the brave school of thought.
Mm-hmm.
How brave.
Yeah. Yes.
And then
that seems to be a prevailing school of thought in wrestling.
Then there's the school of thought of, girl, sit your ass at the house and get yourself better.
Yes, go rest before you make it worse.
We love you and would like you to stay around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see half-assed Mayu Iwatani.
No, me either. And, I mean, she had to go to the hospital. She was in so much pain.
It's ridiculous that she is part of the show right now. If it is indeed a broken rib,
yeah,
I don't know how she's even doing it.
I don't know either.
This was so messed up that we actually were Googling during the match.
Yeah.
Like,
I was looking for an official injury announcement or something.
Was she misdiagnosed? Did she have gas? I mean, what was it?
All we got was her Instagram story that everyone reported on about her going to the hospital and having broken ribs, and then nothing after that. And then she comes out for this match, and she seems like she's still in some pain, but she wrestles this match and then helps take the ring down later.
Yeah.
So
I will say this in this match, one thing that really stuck out to me, and it's been sticking out to me a lot lately, is Victoria Yuzuki.
Oh my goodness.
So,
just a little spitfire.
As we'll get to with another match, honestly, the best Victoria Yuzuki match I've ever seen, which also happened this week.
100%.
She there's something about her, okay? And I've had my love-hate thing.
Yeah.
I've been mad at her for leaving Stardom. She was one of the ones that my Stardom fanness got mad when she kind of just up and left when she was still cooking.
Like 2 months into her career.
And it was more for being, you know how you get mad at a kid when you've lived that?
Yeah.
And you know that they're making a mistake.
Right.
I as a child, I got mad at Luke when he left Yoda's training early. I did. I got shoot mad. I remember being super pissed, and I didn't.
Like, why are you so dumb?
Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing? You have Yoda. It's Yoda.
Just stay and learn."
You couldn't do a damn thing when you got on this swamp, and now look at you. You're on one leg. You're holding up a frog man and pulling an X-wing out of a swamp.
Yeah.
My God. And now you're going to leave early? No, man. You got to stay and stick it out. So I was really upset that she didn't complete her Jedi training.
Right.
Little did I know that if you take the girl that has great athletic ability already.
Yeah.
And fighting spirit already.
Yes.
And you throw her into, I don't know, let's say a year's worth of hell.
You just put her through it.
Add a little curry and spice.
Yeah.
And what comes out is whatever the fuck she is right now.
a beast? I don't know.
She is absolutely a beast, man. And you can see these flashes.
Yeah.
Where Victoria Yuzuki is going to be a monster.
Yes. Just completely. She's got so much potential, and you can tell that it's hardened her this past year.
Give me 4 years, a good build-up, and the Yuzuki versus Senka for a belt.
There you go. It's going to happen.
God.
Eventually.
I mean, can you imagine them on a big stage with a little legit heat behind it?
Oh, it'll be insane.
I mean, I love
They're
it.
both demons in the ring.
Anyway, it's one of those keep your eye on things.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mirai won that match for her team. And Mayu was kind of talking like Victoria and Mirai carried me through that match so that I could be here and compete. So she's obviously not 100%, but
hopefully she doesn't try to have any. I mean, is she going to do the tournament?
I assume she's still in the Dream Star. I haven't seen anything to the contrary.
Oh, dear God.
I know. It's going to be interesting. Speaking of the Dream Star, that brings us to the main event of this show, which were the 2 Dream Star Grand Prix qualifying gauntlet matches. And the way this worked was that the girls were split into 2 groups of 4. So the first 2 people would wrestle, the winner of that would wrestle the next person, and then the winner of that match would wrestle the last person. And the person who remained in the 4 people would get one of the slots. So in the case of the first 4 competitors, it started with Naoi Ishikawa versus Minami Yuki. And these were 5-minute time limit matches. So very short time limit to get this done. And unfortunately for these 2, they could not get it done, and their match went to a time limit draw, which immediately eliminated them both from the gauntlet.
And I still think it was somewhat of a win for Minami Yuki.
Yeah, not to lose to Naoi Ishikawa.
Yeah.
And her in her new gear, looking amazing.
Yeah, it's that too.
Then they had to send out the last 2 people in this first gauntlet, which were Yuka Yamazaki and Rhea Sato.
Rhea!
And this little 5-minute match between them, it wasn't even 5 minutes because it ended early, but it was fantastic.
Oh, it was great.
Yuka is, once again, a little beast in the ring. The mad dog of Naniwa, as they call her. It's very fitting. She's very aggressive, very smooth.
Let's talk about it. How crazy is it? How many matches has she had?
This is her 4th match.
How insane.
I know.
How insane.
She's crazy.
To be as good and be as natural, transitions and the way she bumps.
Yeah.
She throws herself into those bumps like she is an old pro. And you would not know that. Listen, this is not hyperbole at all.
Yeah.
This is, I'm thinking Tony Schiavone in my head. This is no hyperbole at all. She really moves like a veteran.
She does. It looks like she's been wrestling for years.
She really does. If you told me she was a 36-year-old, 16-year vet, I would believe it.
Right, but instead she's an 18-year-old on her 4th or 5th match.
Yeah, but
it's like, huh?
And that's not even who we're here to cheer.
No, because our girl.
Yeah.
Getting the job done.
Way to go,
Rhea. Getting her spot in the Dream Star Grand Prix. Rhea Sato using the cattle mutilation of all things.
A very vicious one, too.
To submit Yuka Yamazaki in this match to secure the first spot. Then it was time for the second gauntlet. This one started out with Nagisa Tachibana versus Komomo Minami. And Komomo won against Nagisa with a quick roll-up victory. Then she was fed to the sharks because Komomo had to face Senka Akatsuki, who very much wanted this spot in the Dream Star Grand Prix. She was the first to throw her hat in the ring before these gauntlets happened.
Yeah, Senka, we watched her protest again after this just because we love Senka so much.
And because they just recently had a new protest passer, a 12-year-old in Marvelous. Who passed her protest.
That we were sitting bitching because it wasn't quite as hard as Senka's test.
It was a little different, a little bit. But Senka coming out here absolutely covered in bruises on her chest, on her face, her knees. Because the night before this, she and Sora Ayame faced Sari and Takumi Iroha for the AAW Tag Team Championships in Marvelous. And she was just beat up, but that did not deter her one bit.
No.
She came out here, she used that pin of hers that everyone loves, where she just lays in blankets on your shoulders.
Yeah, the shoot pin, wet blanket.
Yeah. So she pinned Komomo Minami. Then they sent out the final member of this 4-person gauntlet, Hummingbird, to face her. And Hummingbird came in with like a house of fire. She just went right after her. I think she knew what she was up against. She's the smaller of the 2.
Right.
So she just tried her best to flurry all over Senka. But it did not work because Senka Akatsuki got the second slot in the Dream Star Grand Prix. So we've got Rhea Sato and Senka Akatsuki joining the field this year.
Exactly who we wanted.
Yes, that's who we called out. We're like, those are the 2 that we want in the Dream Star, and we're getting it. We're getting singles matches with these ladies.
I'm so excited.
For a full month, and I'm so ready.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very pumped up about this.
And I was surprised after the fact when Rhea got in the ring and was sort of having trouble talking to Sanka.
Yeah.
And then Sanka decided to say something, and Rhea just lost it.
Yeah,
just went off.
She lost it. Go back and watch that, folks, and watch Rossi when Rhea blows up, because you rarely see Rossi pop.
Yeah. But I think he enjoyed that.
But it broke him.
You could tell Rhea Sato's not a big confrontationalist.
Yeah.
Like, she does not she starts crying half the time when she's trying to get her words in, but whatever Sanka said just set her off, and
those
she attacked
are the girls
her.
you have to watch.
Yeah. They're the ones that, once the last straw's gone,
yeah,
it's over.
They're the ones who've been pissed on and thrown aside and are ready to blow up.
Yes, absolutely. So fun little Marigold show there that had some fun stakes at the end. But a couple days later, as you were alluding to, on the 30th of June at Noah Wrestle Magic 2025, there were a couple of Joshi matches involved in this show. The first of which was Johnny Robbie and the Great Sakuya teaming up against Red Energy, Miyuki Takase, and Miki Iwata from Sendai Girls.
I love the Great Sakuya.
The opening spot to this match between Sakuya and Miki Iwata will just live in my head forever, I think.
I love her so much. She reminds me of somebody else I love. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird how similar people can be sometimes.
I know. But it was really a fun opening spot. Man, to be such a serious wrestler, and you pointed this out, Mika is the funniest. I mean,
her facials are just so good.
Yeah.
She gets so annoyed at people. And then whenever Miyuki Takase took the miss to the face after blocking it the first time, Mika did not want anything to do with Miyuki. She was like, stay away from me. She got out of the ring, got her belt. She's like, you just stay there. And she started backing away. She didn't want to get touched
as
at
you
all.
showed me later, there was a series of pictures online with chasing her up the stairs and stuff. It was great.
They are so funny, the Sendai Girls. If you've never seen the videos with Miki Iwata getting jump scared, it's some of the best stuff.
It really is.
It's so funny. But the main event of this Wrestle Magic, to us anyway, was for the GHC Women's Championship, Takumi Iroha defending against Victoria Yuzuki. And my goodness gracious, this was just... You're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you back the whole time.
It was so awesome because you could really, sometimes you can see a mentor appreciating what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like. I mean.
Yeah, that one little moment where Victoria thrust kicked Takumi in the face and it busted her lip. And just the look on Takumi's face, she wasn't mad. Really, it was sort of like okay. That's what we're doing, sort of.
Yeah, and that's who Victoria is. I mean, she's just brutal.
She is. And she will not let up for a single second. You have to take her down, or she is going to keep coming at you.
I throw this around a lot, okay, and I apologize, because I throw it around a lot with someone who looks like this person. Mm-hmm. But the Manami Toyota comparison, is so. It's so well placed on Yuzuki.
Yeah, just the style of wrestling.
It's the style, that reckless abandon, the fact that it's you don't know where she's going, and it feels like she doesn't either.
She's just going, man, and she's gonna hit you one way or the other.
She's just gonna body you.
Yeah,
and she's gonna try it.
She's really exciting. To watch.
There's nothing I don't think she won't try. Mm-hmm. If she did a fucking tope,
you'd be like, yeah, okay.
And she's going to go sideways. She's going to hit her head on the side of the thing,
right?
But she's going to kill her opponent. And it's beautiful.
It is. There is a certain dangerous beauty about her.
Yeah, dangerous beauty,
which is lovely. Victoria Yuzuki, despite her best efforts, did not win this match.
Right.
Takumi Iroha managed to get the win and retain the GHC Women's Championship, but Victoria put up a hell of a fight in the process.
She won in her own way.
She did. And then following the match, there was a little I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, an appearance.
The gay championship of the world.
From Utami Hayashishita, who came out and offered her red rose to Takumi Iroha, who accepted it.
Yes.
So I think we're very close to getting that Marigold World Championship
I wasn't
match.
saying that about either one of them. I was saying that about you when you saw this.
Yes. I was the A1 in this situation.
Don't get it twisted.
Have you seen the pictures of them in the ring?
Okay, all right. Yes.
Oh, it's like something out of an anime.
Yeah, it is.
It's Ouran High School Host Club all over again.
It's also something out of a very violent match that's going to be happening.
Yeah, that just makes me even gayer, honestly. The violence. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I've loved everything about this Utami chasing Takumi storyline. I think it's amazing.
Me too.
And by the time she finally gets her in the ring, I think Utami is going to be like, okay, now we get to get down to business.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be amazing. So that wraps us up on the Marigold marvelous Noah side of things, the little things out there.
Right.
And brings us into Stardom.
Which
had quite a few shows, so we really got to we're going to get through these and stop for the important things.
Yes.
Starting on June 25th in Osaka, it started off with Sayaka Kurara, Saoriano Natsupoi versus Mei Seira, Zumi, and Starlight Kid. And this is not a match you would generally think is going to be an opening match. We were like watching this and we're like, are you sure this isn't the main event?
They did it for my birthday.
It was very strange, but it was a great match, obviously, with these 6 people in it. Mei Seira taking the win when she reversed Kurara into a pin. And then there was something very interesting happen. Because Starlight Kid, with her Wonder of Stardom title, got out of the ring and kind of strode up to Natsupoi, but then completely bypassed her and walked up to Saoriano and held the Wonder Belt up. She did the finger under the chin thing like Saoriano does to people.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, is this what's happening next? But more updates on that later.
Right.
Because Hate decided to interrupt because they want another shot at the Artist Stardom belts that Azumi, Miyu, and Starlight have.
Yes.
So they decided to interrupt this nice moment for themselves because Hate is on a tear lately.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Very interesting thing that happened. I mean, that was. And Hate being on a tear, it's so funny. We were just calling for that.
I know. It's so weird. Next was Emma Maishima, Kikyo Furusawa, and Yurihime versus Rion Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama, who have had a lot of matches recently with the 3 of them teaming up at the same time. And when they do an interesting pose in the ring. It's just so funny. It cracks us up every single time they do it, even though we know it's coming.
We love them to death, but we call it the prom pose.
Yes, where they have their hands on each other's shoulders and they just look at the camera.
And because of the 3 size differences being so drastic,
it's so funny.
Having them look over at the camera like it's like hello.
It's hilarious, and I think they know it is. They have to know.
You have, right?
Like, how do you not?
I mean, you gotta know that's funny.
Of course, Yurihime has been going after Waka and Hanako looking for the New Blood tag title shot, but Hanako won this match for her team with a brainbuster on Kikyo.
Brainbuster!
Following that, we had a fun little 3-way Miyu Amasaki versus Aya Sakura versus Fukigen Death, and Miyu Amasaki actually won this, not Fukigen Death. She pinned Fukigen Death, so
way to go.
Interesting. She rolled her up just like Fukigen Death would do.
Yeah, it was good.
They're learning.
Yeah.
Rina and Konami were next against Akira Kuragane and Bozilla and Ronnie Yagami and Ami Sori. So this was our first look at Bozilla in the ring in action after her debut at Stardom the Conversion.
And it was fun. It's not what we're going to get.
Yeah.
We're going to get to a show that was the damn Bozilla show.
Yes, we are. This match, this 3-way tag match, was won by the God's Eye team, Ronnie Yagami and Ami Sori, after Ami pinned Akira Kuragane with her Blue Thunder Bomb.
And they had a way of getting out of beating Bo without beating Bo by having her, put...
she always puts someone on her shoulders.
Someone in her shoulders, whoever's in the match, and runs to the back, and when the fireman's
she's distracted, beating someone else up when Akira gets pinned.
Yeah.
So God's Eye took the win on that one. After that, Kikyo Kotatsu, Lady C, Tomoka Inaba, Saki Kashima, and Shiri took on Azusa Inaba, Ruaka, Momo Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, and Saya Kamatani. So a nice little God's Eye versus Hate match here, but that ended when Saya Kamatani hit the Star Crusher on Tomoka Inaba. Interestingly enough, you wouldn't think normally that Tomoka would be the one taking the pin in that situation, but she did, and I honestly wouldn't mind seeing more of Tomoka versus Saya just one-on-one.
Please.
That would be fun, I
think. Give me that.
In the main event of this show, for the Goddess of Stardom titles, 4 days after they just defended them, Saida and Hanan defended against Saki and Yuna Mizumori, Tropica Wild, who are a long-standing tag team from the past, and they did their best to beat Wingori, but you know, it's the year of Wingori, and they're a hard out these days. So Ida was the one who got the pin in this match after her Be a Master, muscle buster move that she does.
Yeah.
Then, following the match, Hate decided to bust in once again, and BMI 2000, Ruaka Natsuko Tora, called their shot for the Goddess of Stardom titles. And then, as this was going on, just seemingly out of nowhere, Natsupoi decided to come into the ring, and she stepped up to Saya Kamatani and challenged for the World of Stardom Championship.
There for it.
It's so weird. Like, we start the show with Natsupoi getting passed over by Starlight Kid, looking at Sariano. Then we end the show with Natsupoi stepping up to the World of Stardom Championship.
But, we've been talking about it for a while on the show that Natsupoi has not seemed all there.
Right.
We know how vicious she can be, and she still has payback on that bitch, right?
Yes.
From what happened with Tam.
Yeah, I think she's finally ready to get her say in the matter. And Saya Kamatani was like, well, it's coming up to a year since I became the Phoenix Queen, so
I'm just saying
that's
what it looks like on her face.
Yeah,
is BISH.
Maybe this is
Bish
Natsupoi's chance to prove that she's still in the game and that she can still take control.
Yeah, she's had a couple of hard losses.
She has,
and I think that coupled with the sadness and the hurt and the pain of losing Tam, which was never really dealt with.
Yeah, it hasn't been addressed.
She was
at all.
One person that was kind of sour when that went down.
Yeah. I
think that this is a perfect time for her to go one way or another. I don't think she's going to win it, but I think she might go toward the dark side of it.
Interesting. And maybe Saya Kamatani can start to venture back. I don't know if she will. She seems to be having a good time.
Who knows? There's some weird stuff going on with Soriano and Natsupoi.
Yes, there is. Then a couple days later, June 27th in Kochi, we started the night off with Momo Kogo, Saya Ida, and Hanan versus Azusa Inaba, Ruaka, and Natsuko Tora. And this was one of the few matches in the past week that Hate lost when Saida used her Itabashi roll-up pin to take the win for the Stars team. After that, Emma Maishima took on Saki Kashima and Azumi in a three-way, which was hilarious. There were some great moments in this match.
Agreed.
Like Saki and Azumi both missing a kip up and then forcing Emma to do one of her own, and she hits it and they both get really pissed off that she did it. Saki Kashima pulling Daichi literally into the match, doing like double clotheslines and stuff.
Oh, it was
and
amazing.
Azumi jumping off his back. Then, to end the match in Saki Kashima fashion, Azumi double stomped Emma Maishima from the top, and then Saki got on like the lowest rope and did a double stomp and pinned, onto Azumi's back, and then pinned Emma to win the match. So, very Saki.
It was great.
It was all a very Saki match, which are always good fun.
Yes, agreed.
After that, Kikyo Furusawa, Yuri Hime, and Sariano took on Mio, Amasaki, Mei Seira, and Starlight Kid. So this is one of our favorite types of matches where Sariano is put in babysitter mode with some of the rookies. It just is so funny to see her out there with the younger girls because it I don't know, it just makes me laugh. I love it so much. Starlight Kid got the win for Neo Genesis in this match using the Black Tiger leg kill on Kikyo. Her first time taking it. I hope she dealt with it okay.
Yeah, hopefully.
But following this match, Starlight once again sort of held the belt up to Saoriano, the Wonder of Stardom Championship, and was like, here it is, I'm offering it to you. And Saoriano basically said, no thanks.
Yeah, I'm good.
She just kind of like shrugged it off. And she's like, no, I don't want that.
Said, no, I'm all good.
And she left. And I think it's very confusing for Starlight. She's kind of like, you're just going to deny a reverse challenge like that?
It's very strange. I mean, and I don't know if she's having like some weird depression or something again. Right. It's been 1 year ago since Natsupoi had to remind her who she was.
Right, and almost a year since she lost the belt to Natsupoi, the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Right. But I actually did see a tweet from Saoriano, or an interview. It was one of those translated tweets just earlier today, where she basically said, I don't know why Starlight Kid would want to challenge me in this current state. I haven't accomplished anything this year. I don't think that I'm worthy of the belt at this time, so I don't know what's on her mind or what she's thinking, but it's not my time to challenge for the Wonder of Stardom Championship.
I mean, she's absolutely right about that.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't had a very eventful 2025, has she?
She's totally right, and someone have that much self-awareness?
Yeah, she's just kind of like, no, it's not for me. Not right now.
But, the argument's to be made, when you've been great for a long time.
Yeah.
You always should deserve it, probably.
Yeah, like you're at the tier where you could challenge for a belt at any time, essentially.
I agree.
But it's kind of like Akira Hakuto giving the belt back to Aja Kong after she beat her when she was injured. She was like, no.
Yeah.
I didn't earn this.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
Some wrestlers are just like, they don't want to tarnish the belt's legacy or something.
Very Japanese, buddy.
It is. After that, we had Rana Yagami, Tomoka Inaba, and Ami Sourei versus Rion Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama. And Rana getting the big win here in this match. She hit Rion with the beat strike for the pin.
Your girl.
Yeah.
Your girl, Rana.
I always love to see her get a big pin.
Doing her thing.
After that, we had a tag match that was so good. Akira Kuragane and Bozilla versus Lady C and Shiri. And this has begun perhaps one of the most interesting storylines right now in Stardom.
So good. So good, bud. So good.
I don't know if it technically counts as a storyline at this point, but it is in our heads.
Yes.
Bozilla versus Lady C is going to be the top story, I think, here very soon.
It was the most interesting Lady C had been in a long time. And, just because of booking, not because of her.
Yeah, and she doesn't usually meet people that are taller than her, bigger than her. That's like rare for Lady C.
The time they had in the ring together was go time.
Yeah.
And it was fun, enjoyable.
I love seeing that aggression get pulled out of her. Like, she has to wrestle that way because otherwise she's going to get taken down by this bigger opponent.
I would love to see someone like Camille get to come over and learn more, and it's totally possible in this world.
It is.
And have another giant over there. I know we can't have Megan back right now, but man, like a Camille could totally do it.
Yeah, it's a great place to learn, right? To use your size because you're so much bigger than the Japanese girls usually. So being able to learn in that environment just makes it easier for you to embrace your monsterness. This was another example, though, of Bozilla getting distracted. She had Shiri out there on her shoulders doing the torture rack, and Akira got pinned by Lady C, who seemed very upset. By the end of this match, she was like, "There, I did it. You happy?"
Yeah. And never fear, though. We're still not done.
We're not. In the main event of this night, Rina, Konami, Momo Watanabe, and Saya Kamatani took on Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, Yuna Mizumori, and Natsupoi. So this was a little continuation of the Natsupoi, Saya Kamatani feud that we've started, the storyline that we've started a couple nights before. And Hate did what Hate does best. There was a lot of shenanigans in this match. Natsupoi ended up getting sprayed in the face by Konami, and then Saya actually had her pinned, pulled her up from the pin just so that she could hit her with the Star Crusher and then pin her again to win the match.
pretty damn,
It was like are you sure you're ready for this sort of situation?
It was crazy.
It was. And you know how Saya Kamatani is. She's always like, you don't know the burden of this red belt, and I don't think you're ready for what you're asking for.
Yeah.
That's like always her MO.
It's really interesting, though, because, Natsupoi obviously doesn't realize the kind of year she's having.
Yeah.
She's had big losses. Mm-hmm. She lost her best friend. She's not been in the right mental state.
Yeah.
And she does not have the self-awareness that Soriano has.
Right, obviously. She's not thinking straight.
So it's interesting that the two friends are being offered the two top belts, in promotion belts. And one of them is looking at it very differently than the other.
Yeah, it is interesting. And it could very well cause a rift between them.
Tells you a lot about each one.
Yeah. They have very different mindsets, it seems, when it comes to championships. The next night was the it should be the 28th. I put the 27th. We just did the 27th in Matsui, and this was Saki Kashima's triumphant return to her hometown, which is always a good time. They started this off a little different than usual because God's Eye had to come out and draw straws for their main event match that they would be having later in the night because there are 5 of them, so they had to decide which teams they were going to have. Wait, is there 5 or 7? There was an odd number.
Yeah.
I think it was 7 of them. 4 versus 3.
4 versus 3.
So they had to draw straws to see what the teams would be. And it ended up being Rana, Tomoka, and Lady C on one side, and then Hina, Amisori, and Shiri on the other side, which left Saki Kashima to draw the last straw to see which team she would be joining. And she ended up being stuck with Rana, Tomoka, and Lady C, which she did not want.
Right.
She was desperate to be teamed with Shiri.
Oh, yeah.
And she was very sad about it.
It was a lot of fun, though.
It was. So they got that ready to go for the main event. They got out of the way, and we started the night off with Rion and Waka Tsukiyama teaming up against Yuria Hime and Momo Kogo. Yuria and Momo will be teaming up, coming up at New Blood for their New Blood tag team title shot.
And Yuri and Momo, I love the team. It's coming along really nicely. I like having Momo having a partner. Seems like it's going to stick.
Yeah, and they actually named their tag team Peach and Lily, which is cute.
Of course they did.
And they're going against rice or bread. Very silly. But Yuri Hime and Momo Kogo actually managed to get the win when Momo hit Waka Tsukiyama with the 619 DDT. So they're set up nicely for that match against the New Blood Tag Team Champions. After that, Aya Sakura, Yuna Mizumori, and Sariano took on Kikyo Furusawa, Akira Kuragane, and Bozilla. And it was a good fun match.
It was, yeah.
You got Kikyo in there with Akira and Bozilla, which was just kind of a fun little tag team up there. And Sariano having to just be out there. I don't know what's up with her, but she's just out there like going through the motions. I think it's all by design. Yes, it seems like it. Aya Sakura actually got the win. She took Kikyo Furusawa out with a pretty vicious head kick.
Yes.
To win this match for Cosmic Angels. And Bozilla, I believe, was once again distraction during this match. She just keeps getting out of the ring and leaving the little ones by themselves.
But we're living through it.
We are. Another 3-way match was next. Emma Maishima versus Sayaka Kurara versus Hanako. And, Emma and Sayaka, we were like trying to tell them, you got to take out the bigger opponent before you go after each other, but they didn't listen. We tried. Even so, Sayaka Kurara got the win in this one. She speared the crap out of Emma Maishima.
Beautiful spear.
And then pinned her to win the match.
Rewind spear.
It was an insane spear. Following that, Azusa Inaba, Rina, Konami, and Momo Watanabe took on Miyu Amasaki, Mei Seira, Azumi, and Starlight Kid. This is kind of a prelude to the Artist of Stardom feud that's been going on. Hate, once again, got the win in this match. Rina pinned Miyu Amasaki after the Pink Devil.
Yes.
So they had their little face-off for the Artist belts after this match, and that will be coming up very soon. Then, Saida, Hanan, and Natsupoi took on Ruaka, Natsukatora, and Saya Kamatani in a double prelude for the Goddess of Stardom Championships and the World of Stardom Championship. So we've got Hate basically going after all the big gold they can possibly get their hands on.
All the things.
And they did take the win in this match. Ruaka pinned Saida after Saya Kamatani flipped her off the top rope on top of Saida.
Yes.
Which was the craziest visual.
It was crazy.
I think I've
very
ever
vicious.
seen. It was insane. So I think that, oh wait, no, that wasn't the end. We got the main event. The God's Eye main event. I was expecting the World of Stardom Championship thing to be the main event, but no. We got God's Eye because Saki Kashima's here, and this is her hometown. So, Hina, Ami Sourei, and Shuri versus Ronnie Yagami, Tomoka Inaba, Lady C, and Saki Kashima. And this match was just...
good fun.
The most Saki Kashima match that you can ever imagine. Like, everything you imagine Saki Kashima doing in a match, she did it here.
Yeah.
In this match, she ran away. She introduced them to her grandparents in the middle of the match in the crowd. She did all the roll-ups. It was very Saki. But Hina, Ami Sourei, and Shuri got the win because Shuri pinned Saki after an Emerald Flosion. I think Shuri was just done with it. She was like, okay,
it's done.
Let's wrap this up.
It was good stuff, though.
But it was cool to see, Saki got the paper tape, and they were all happy afterwards. Big God's Eye group hug.
I love anything Saki is good with me.
She's so funny. She just got her very specific way of being funny.
Yeah, man.
Which is so totally different from most people that you see.
So talented.
It's amazing. That brings us to the third and final card from last weekend on the 29th in Okayama.
The best.
Yes, this one they put all the marbles into.
This one delivered as a good, fast.
It went by so quick, but it was so good.
Yeah.
So it started off the night with Akira Kuragane and Bozilla versus Ronnie Yagami and Hina.
Jesus Christ.
And this was a very interesting match because not only did we see plenty of Bozilla killing Ronnie Yagami, just absolutely snapping her in half.
So again, this would be the match that people got live on YouTube for free the first time. Like, this is kind of Bo's big show main event and or debut, because the other ones are VOD.
Yes.
Except for the 25th, but most were VOD. And this was, this was big time. This match particularly was on YouTube.
Yeah, so a lot of people got to see it, got to see Bozilla in rare form, and just the look on Rana's face and her running from the corner and stuff when
Rana
Bozilla's
did such
coming
a good
after
job
her.
of getting her ass kicked.
Yes, she did. She did. And this was the first time since her debut that Bozilla and Akira managed to get the win in their tag team match. Akira actually pinned Hina with a roll-up after Bozilla slammed her through the mat.
Yes.
But Akira did pin Hina, which perfectly sets up Akira for a Future of Stardom championship match.
Which is crazy to think of.
It is. Like, she tried before to beat Rion for that chance, and she didn't get it. But now she's come back and she pinned the champion.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Listen, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for Bozilla.
Yeah, this was such a good match.
This showed what Bozilla can be.
Yeah, it was very entertaining, and I am definitely excited for Bozilla in Stardom. I'm excited to see her presumably in the 5-Star Grand Prix coming up at the end of the month, so that we can just see her run through everybody.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. I think she fits perfectly in Mi Vida Loca. I think it's just all wonderful.
Yeah, my favorite thing is to see how people plan against her.
Right. Yeah, you gotta get strategy.
In the booking, during a 5-star, it's kind of like booking one match when you book a tournament. So you have to figure out that problem.
Yeah.
And I think that toward the end, that she'll be dominant at first, my prediction, and she'll lose some very key matches.
Probably,
for over aggression or whatever. The girls will
distraction.
The girls are going to figure something out.
Yeah.
And it's I think she'll have a good showing, a solid first showing.
I agree.
But I think that's going to be one of the fun parts, is seeing people learn how to beat her.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a problem to solve, isn't it?
How do you solve a problem like Bozilla?
I guess we'll see. Following that, we had a fun tag team match. Emma Maishima teaming up with Mei Seira versus Lady C and Ami Sourei. So you got two high-speed wrestlers against two of the bigger wrestlers in Stardom. And Emma and May did their best, but having Emma on your team at this point in her career is always going to be a liability. And she did take the pin from Lady C after a big boot that looked like it went straight through her face.
Yeah, a little bit. It looked like they put a new hole of air conditioning there.
Like we said, Lady C has been stepping it up lately.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to pun that, but I will take it. After that, Ruaka and Natsukatora took on Kikyo Furusawa and Hanan with a tiny little prelude to the Goddesses Stardom tag team match, but Hanan didn't have her usual tag team partner here, so Tora was able to pin Kikyo after a big old body splash out of the corner.
But it made a lot of sense having a way because, I mean, look, Wingori, like we talked about, they're too dominant. You can't just squeak one out on them.
Not usually, no. So Hanan having Kikyo here, which was a cute team, I have to admit. I really like them together. But Ruaka and Natsukatora came out with the win. Once again, Hate showing their dominance lately.
Yes.
Following that, Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Yuna Mizumori, easy for me to say.
Easy for you to say.
Took on Tomoka Inaba, Saki Kashima, and Shiri. And it was a good match. It was fine. Shiri got the win, submitting Aya Sakura with the ground Suzaku. But it was following this match in her backstage comments where Shiri announced for the first time that she would be taking a break from Stardom for a while.
Yep.
And you did speculate that this would happen following her loss of the IWGP Women's Championship because it's like a curse, apparently.
Yes, it's a curse belt.
She didn't say she was leaving Stardom. She said, I'm sure there'll be an official announcement soon, but I will be taking an extended break from the Stardom ring.
She said we'll be friends.
Rehab some injuries and do some training overseas to try to get stronger. And then she did say, I will be back in the Stardom ring. So fingers crossed that that's true and that she is coming back.
But it gives us the most wide open 5-star Grand Prix in history.
No Tam, no Mayu, no Micah, no Shiri. Like, that gives so many more people an opportunity to win this year than it normally would, which is crazy.
Hopefully we can field it.
Yeah, so we don't know how long Shiri is going to be gone, but she is gone for the time being, which is crazy. It's going to be wild to see what that does to God's Eye as a unit. I don't know that it would matter that much because they're very well contained.
They've got Amisori.
They do have her back, and we did talk about how much of a leader she looks like.
Yeah,
since coming back.
I think that she is the lieutenant myself.
So it's gonna be fun to see. I mean, I don't know where Shiri's gonna end up going when she goes overseas, but if she's close by, see a little Shiri action.
Yeah, seen it before.
In the semi-main event of the show, Rion, Waka Tsukiyama, and Hanako, once again with their prom pose, took on Yuri Hime, Momo Kogo, and Saya Ida for another New Blood Tag Team prelude. But this time, EXV got the win. Waka pinned Yuria, so it was like, are you really ready for these championships? I don't know if you are.
I don't think you are.
And in the main event, Miyu Amasaki, Mei Seira, Starlight Kid, Sariano, and Natsupoi, so a little Cosmic Angels Neo Genesis crossover team, took on Azusa Inaba, Rina, Konami, Momo Watanabe, and Saya Kamatani. But unlike the previous nights where they got themselves strewn all about by hate, the combo team of Neo Genesis and Cosmic Angels actually took the win in this match. Azumi pinned Konami with the Azumi Sushi and showed that the Artists of Stardom champions still have a little fight left in them. You can't beat them that easily.
No word.
But this was once again another one of those moments where Starlight was like, are you sure you don't want this title? She's really trying. She just keeps on pushing the issue. And Sariano was basically just like, no, and walked away.
Yeah, no.
She was not into it
it's
whatsoever.
Really freaking weird, unless it's just mind games.
Yeah, I suppose it could be mind games, but I don't see Sariano really as that type of person.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's an interesting story. Obviously is a story.
It is.
And I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, Soriano and Natsupoi will be some of your top 5-star Grand Prix-ers, and Starlight.
Especially with the field as it is.
Starlight, Azumi. I mean, there's a hell of a field anyway, even with the ones we've lost. But it's just interesting.
It is. It's all very interesting. I'm excited to see where it goes. But we've got some cool stuff coming up for Stardom this weekend on the 4th of July. Happy holidays to us all. We have the New Blood card that we've been building towards. And on that show, we will see a singles match between Rina and Ima Maishima. Another singles match between Kyoko Kotatsu and Kikyo Furusawa. A tag team match where Rion will be teaming up with Hanoka against Asuka Goda and Saran.
That'd be great.
A 6-man match, Akira Kuragane, Sayaka Kurara, and Aya Sakura.
So weird.
versus Hina, Lady C, and Rana Yagami. And in the main event for the New Blood Tag Team titles, Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama will defend their titles against Momokogo and Yuria Hime.
They'll lose their titles.
I kind of feel like they might, honestly.
I like this team, man.
I think it's very possible that Yuria and Momo win, and then Yuria joins Stars full-time.
We'll see.
And then on the 6th of July, we have Korakuen Hall. Which they've announced the full card for. Yeah. So that card will be Momokogo versus Kikyo Furusawa in a singles match. Kyoko Katatsu, Lady C, and Amisori versus Itsuki Aoki, Suzu Suzuki, and Bozilla.
I'm looking forward to that. The return of Suzu.
A little Lady C and Bozilla action on Korakuen Hall. Then we will see Yuria Hime, Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, Yuna Mizumori, and Saki Kashima. Interesting combination of people there. Versus Rion, Hanako, Waka Tsukiyama, Koguma, and Hazuki, who are returning from their little excursion in America when they went to the Spark Joshi show.
Yes.
Just recently.
Absolutely.
And Hazuki retained her Spark Women's Championship.
Yeah, I think it'll be more interesting stuff here, too.
It will.
The team is being weird like that. I like.
Yeah, me too. It always leads to interesting things.
Yes.
A singles match between Ima Maishima and Mei Seira. So a little high-speed action there in the middle. Then Shiri's final match before her excursion, her break, a singles match against Rana Yagami. So, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be emotional.
It is. It's going to be very hard-hitting, but also very sad.
Yeah.
Then we will see Saya Ida, Hanan, Saoriano, and Natsupoi versus Raka, Natsuka Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Saya Kamatani.
Yes.
For the Future of Stardom Championship, Hina defending against Akira Kuragane.
This is the sleeper, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Especially with the way Hina's really turned it on lately.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a great match.
I do too.
And for the Artist of Stardom Championships, Miyu Amasaki, Azumi, and Starlight Kid defending against Fukigen Death, Rina, and Konami.
Yeah, good call. It's a good solid card. A lot of preview in this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if Hate is going to be able to take the artist belts. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because they've been killing it lately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they will, but I mean, I think that it's going to be an interesting card, and I think that it's going to build a lot for what we got coming up.
Yeah, and it's Korakuen Hall, so they usually do some significant build on those shows, and the 21st of July is the, what is it called? Sapporo Rendezvous, which is the show last year where Natsupoi became the Wonder of Stardom champion and Saya Kamatani turned into the Phoenix Queen. A lot happened last year.
A lot did happen
on those shows. But I wanted to mention a couple other things before we get off here that's coming up that I just thought were funny and interesting.
Absolutely.
Like another show happening on July 21st is TJPW's Summer Sun Princess 2025. Yes. And they announced a really cool match for it. Maki Ito teaming with El Desperado against Emi Sakura and Chris Brooks.
I love it.
Isn't that just such a fun match?
Yes.
And speaking of TJPW, I wanted to give them a shout out because next weekend are their Dallas shows. And they posted on Twitter that they've already sold more tickets to their July 13th show than any other previous Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Mania Week show.
Yeah.
So all those shows that they've done with in collaboration with GCW over Mania Week, the show for this all-in weekend has already outsold all of those.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
And I think it makes sense kind of with the fan base that'll be around at the time. I feel like they're more attuned to Joshi, and they're probably more likely to buy the tickets.
Yeah, me too.
But I think it's a great sign for Joshi in America in general, and goes to show that they don't really need to rely on American promotions to push them over the top. I think people are more than willing to come and see them.
Oh, I think so too.
On their own.
I think so too. I think that Stardom doing a short tour would sell out in minutes.
Oh man, they would sell out every show.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that. If they were to come over and just do a quick run across the country, I think they would sell out every single show.
Yeah, I do too.
People love Stardom. We love Stardom.
Absolutely. We all love Stardom.
And I'm so excited for Korakuen Hall. I'm excited for the Sapporo Rendezvous show and the start of the 5-Star Grand Prix. Speaking of which, the press conference is this weekend.
Yeah!
So we are definitely going to be watching that, tweeting about it, and we will cover it on our next show. show.
We are going to be smothered and covered. We love it, and we love you guys. Don't forget to challenge. Go tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a grandma.
Yes, and make sure you're following us on our socials at Cult of Joshi. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like, comment, give us your thoughts on everything that's happening in the landscape of Joshi at the moment, because we love to hear your thoughts and have that conversation with you. But for now, I'm Raja. He's John. So long from the Cult of Joshi. Bye!